Let's get it moving. All right, so I got some bad words here. I'm gonna fix this up on TikTok. What's up, people? What's up? Hope you're let me go live because I said something. But anyway, when you join, I hope you let me know how your day's going. Let me know what's good. We're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be raw as hell today. Okay, so that's your warning. This is the only warning you're gonna get. It's gonna be raw as hell. It's gonna be from the heart. It's gonna be authentic, and it's probably gonna hit you. All right. So if this does hit you, I'm talking to you, and you shouldn't feel offended because I'm not calling you out. I'm just letting you know the reality of what's going on. All right. Nobody gives a fuck. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a bit. Let me just set up TikTok over here and pin this conversation so we know what we're talking about on Instagram. And again, when you join, let me know how your day's going. All right. All right. All right. Let's see if this is going to work now. All right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Sick. All right. We're live. We're live. We're live on TikTok too now. That's all fixed. Cool. All right, people. We're in the house. We're gonna have that chat. It's gonna be fucking raw today. It's gonna be from the heart. It's gonna be original. It's gonna be kind of off the cuff, short, sweet, but the meaningful or the message will be fucking meaningful. All right. So we're not gonna be wasting any of your guys and girls' time here today. We're talking about it. What's up, Sean? I see you, bro. We're gonna be talking about it today. Nobody actually cares. Nobody gives a fuck. And I'm not saying like you don't have loved ones. I'm not saying you don't have friends. I'm not saying you don't have people that actually give a fuck about you. I'm not saying it's not even about other people. Okay, this is more of a conversation that you're going to be having with yourself, and this is more of like a perspective that you should be taking this in, like from your own perspective, like within, right? And I want you to understand this simply because it's the number one thing that you can actually embody when it comes to correcting yourself in a way that's not like bashful, in a way where you're not like shaming yourself, in a way where like you're not even, holding yourself back subconsciously because of your own beliefs, which is something that I see a lot of. Like I see it a lot of the time, right? People always saying, man, I was raised in this fucking shitty situation and my life can't get better than what it is right now. Or, I'm this shit happened to me, I was dumped and I was cheated on and like, now I can't do this and I can't do that because fucking cheated on, or like whatever the fucking excuses. Like, oh, I had a drug addiction and that drug addiction fucked me up and like I can't, there's no opportunities, or I've been arrested and like so on and so forth. Like people tell themselves a story. Okay, and this again, like I'm not picture perfect here. I'm not Mr. Perfect. I used to be definitely one of these people until I broke out of this mold in order to get myself into bodybuilding and helping other people. But people often tell themselves a story over and over and over again that may not even be true anymore. But they live in that like embodiment of failure. They live in that embodiment of shame, and they continue to like represent that subconsciously through their actions, through their bad habits, through their lack of accountability, through their lack of like zest for life, for them not even wanting to strive for anything better. Like subconsciously, they do things that hold them back because they believe that story that they're fucking telling themselves. Like, I was raised in a poor family, so I'm probably never gonna amount to shit. I'm a loose screw. I fucking dropped out of school, and like, there's no opportunity for me ever, and I'm gonna be a fucking bum. So on and so forth. I work at McDonald's, and that's my life story, and there's nothing else I can do about that. I can't change anything about it. Like, so some people, and you might be one of them, and it might not be the exact example that I'm giving out, but there are some people that will actually sit there, and I'm not shaming you guys and girls, because again, I used to do this, and tell themselves the story of I can't do this because something bad happened to me, whether I did it to myself or whether somebody did it to me. Like, I'm somebody that grew up, and honestly, my family wasn't rich. You know what I mean? Talking about 5 kids, got 2 working parents, and then they split up and divorced, and then it's like, okay, shit, like, what are we gonna do now? High school was rough for me. I was a good kid with bad habits, right? Hanging out with a bad crowd and all that stuff. I did so many things and attached my identity to so many failures and so many things I was embarrassed about for a long period of time before I actually took action and became the person that's sitting or standing before you, that's motivating and inspiring you. And how did I get from that point of being, that kid where, I was doing a whole bunch of, I was like smoking weed, drinking, partying, doing drugs all that shit, fighting people, doing all this dumb fucking shit, day in, day out, consistently, because of, what I've conditioned my mind to believe for my whole life. I'm coming from a family that isn't well off. Opportunities are slim for me. I fucked a lot of things up, and everything that I fucked up, I continue to think about, and I continue to embody and carry with me. And because I wasn't able to mentally detach from that, I wasn't able to physically transform. I'm going to repeat that. Because I was not able to mentally detach from that story I was telling myself of how I can never amount to anything, or how I'm attached to my failure and I'm truly not worth it, I wasn't able to transform. Guys and girls, if you read my post earlier this morning, I talked about transformation. Okay? Transformation, it starts in the mind before the body. The biggest transformation is the one you cannot fucking see. The biggest transformation is that morning you wake up and you just think to yourself, fuck, I'm done doing this shit. Like, I'm absolutely fucking finished. Like, this is just not how I'm living my life anymore. That's that transformation. Like, that's the bullet in your brain that kills the old you and allows the renaissance for the new you to begin, the rebirth. That's the biggest transformation that nobody sees and nobody talks about, because nobody sees it. And I'm here to tell you guys and girls today, nobody gives a fuck about your old story except for you. Nobody gives a fuck about what happened to you when you were a kid. Nobody gives a fuck about how you were raised. Nobody gives a fuck at all. And I'm saying that externally. And again, as I said at the beginning of this live stream, take that in a personal perspective. If you keep putting too much weight on that, the fact that people actually care where you came from, most of you guys don't even know where I came from, right? And that doesn't affect my ability to impact you positively. So it would be a waste of my time and a disservice to each and every single person that I wish to help, to tell myself that story of being attached to my failures, of being attached and completely concrete with my mistakes, which isn't true. Okay, we're going to talk about it today, guys and girls. Success does not give a fuck about your feelings. Success does not give a fuck about what you're going through. Success does not give a fuck, period. And I said this is going to be off the cuff. This is going to be a little bit raw, a little bit savage, and I wasn't fucking lying. Because I want to bring this to you. I want this to hit you. I want this to, like, I want y'all to download this into your fucking brains, people. Like, for real, 100%. Success doesn't give a fuck about what's going on. Doesn't give a fuck if you're in the hospital. Doesn't give a fuck if a family member died. Doesn't give a fuck if you can't pay rent. Success doesn't care. Do you think, like, put it this way, and this is just another perspective for people that are losing body fat, per se. You're on your journey, you're successful, you're going down, you're cutting up 1 to 2 to 3 pounds a week, doing fucking amazing, right? 1 to 3 pounds a week is fucking amazing if you didn't know that. And you reach a point, now it's your fucking birthday. It's your birthday now, all right? And now you decide, oh, fuck, it's my birthday, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to do something behind the coach's back. Or I'm just going to do something in general. If you don't have a coach, you're going to eat lots of pizza, lots of cake, just deviate from your nutrition completely, right? And then you gain a couple of pounds of fat, retain a couple of pounds of water, and then you start to get a little bit depressed about what you see in the mirror because you know you fucked up. But the thing is this, although you felt the need to indulge, overindulge, or whatever it is for your birthday, the fact of the matter is that the success of your journey has been halted because success doesn't give a fuck. Success doesn't give a fuck. Do you think your fat knows that it's your birthday? Do you think your body fat actually knows that it's your birthday? So when you do something like that, and something like that happens, you fuck up, the fat comes back onto your body, the water comes back onto your body, the journey's fucked, or it's halted. Because success doesn't give a fuck. And this is something that I honestly learned from my mentors. Shout out Brian and Cole. Success doesn't give a fuck. If you can have any excuse in the world, man, like any excuse in the world, I swear to God, man, and it doesn't matter. Like, you can either have your excuse or you can have your result, because success does not give a fuck, period. Okay. And when I say that, I'm not trying to tell you guys to be robots. When I say that, I'm not trying to make y'all, act all militant towards yourself and like treat yourself like a bodybuilder or whatever. Like, that's not the case here. This is like universal. Like, this is just the law. You jump off of fucking a building, a tall building, you fall down, you die. That's gravity, and gravity is a law. This is a law, bro. Success doesn't give a fuck. You have to do the things that you need to do regardless. So either you have the excuse or the results. But I'm not here to make you a robot. I want to tell you that there is such thing also as having self-compassion. Like if you did grow up in a fucking shitty household, an abusive household, if you did grow up with not a lot to eat, if you did grow up with, having just not ideal like circumstances, if you actually grew up in a situation that fucked you up, have self-compassion, but do not self-loathe. Understand that that's something you went through and that's not something you are. You went through an abusive childhood. You are not an abused child. You went through those, impoverished times, but you are not in poverty. If you can detach yourself mentally, physically from the story that you tell yourself that you've honestly experienced, I'm not even telling you that you're making this shit up, because I know some people have experienced this, me included. If you can actually mentally detach yourself from that, that's the very first pillar of action when it comes to your general transformation, whatever the fucking thing it is, like with your fitness, with your finances, with your relationships with other people. It's big, it's huge mentally. It starts mentally. You have to disassociate from the negative embodiment of who you were. Matter of fact, kill that person or lock them up in a cage and look at them every time you think that you're that person, just so you can see how far away you are, how time is really stretched apart. Because if you can really understand mentally what's going on and who you actually are at this point in time, you have the power to decide to be that person, the new person that is void of all the negative experiences in the past. It's actually possible. And if you don't believe it, look at me. I'm a product of it. I wasn't raised in the best situation. I'm not like a fucking wealthy kid or anything like that. It's just what it is. I was able to have self-compassion and say, shit, like, yeah, I did go through these things, but I'm not going to make that my story. I'm not going to just sit there and be like, yeah, I'm that kid that, this is me when I was 16 and this is what happened. And now I can't actually move forward with my life because of what happened 10 years ago or 6 years ago, whatever the fuck it happened. And no, that's not my story. I understand that, fuck, this is something that I went through. Let me get help for it. Let me fix it. Let me acknowledge it because it's real. I'm going to acknowledge it. But I'm not going to just sit there and pretend like that's all that exists and that I can never change, because that's not true. You can always change. And that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. Nobody gives a fuck, so fuck your pity party. All right? I'm going to repeat this again. Nobody gives a flying fuck, so fuck your pity party. If you don't know what a pity party is, I'm explaining to you people. Have you ever been around those people? And if you have, just honestly, just silently nod your head behind the camera. I don't even need you to type right now. If you've honestly been around a person that's like, fuck, man, I just lost my job today, and and then I missed the bus, and then because I missed the bus, I felt bad, and I didn't want to go to the gym, and because I didn't go to the gym, I feel like shit. Like, if you are around people that are, let me know. Just nod behind the camera. Just if you're watching this, just do that. Let me know if you're vibing with me. Have you ever been around a person that's always spewing negative shit? Let me know, because I swear to fucking God, it's the worst type of people to be around. Like, you don't want to be around those type of people, because they will poison your mind and bring it back to you thinking of yourself like being that negative person and not having the ability to change. If you are around people that are constantly looking on the downside as opposed to the upside, the dark side as opposed to the light side, the bad side as opposed to the good side, you will have a hard fucking chance succeeding if you choose to make those people your main surrounding. And that's just facts. I don't make the rules. It's the law, like gravity. You can't be the person that's going around saying, just carrying negativity, just spreading that bullshit. You can't. Want to know why? I mean, you can, but you're not going to go anywhere in life if you do that. And you're only going to drag other people down around you, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not. It's the fucking law. It's just the way it is. So fuck your pity party. And if you're one of those people that, I don't have time to go to the gym today because X, Y, and Z, and I can't do this because I can't do that, and this makes me feel bad, and all that negative shit, if that's who you are, I don't even want you in my life. And that's like, you will know that from you'll walk past me and feel that. You won't even want to talk to me because I don't tolerate that. Yeah, I go through bad times. I'm not fucking perfect. There are times where I fuck up too, to this day. But I'm not gonna sit around fucking painting everyone's walls with shit and dragging them down into whatever level that level is. That's honestly some bullshit. And keep them there, and keep myself there mentally, and tell myself that story, then tell them that story, and influence them to, be sad with me. That, like, I don't do that, and I couldn't fathom doing that. Like, that's something I used to do when I was a teenager. And even now, like, I've realized, like, how many friendships I've lost doing that. Not even with other people, but with myself, because I was detached. I'd always tell myself, like, fuck, this is my story. This is unchangeable. Because this is how I feel, and I'm always going to talk about it. And the power of the tongue is real. You feel me? The power of the tongue is real. So if that's all you're talking about, just negative shit, understand, I certainly don't give a fuck. Because I know you can change it. Bitch about it for a day or two. I get it, we're human. But if that's your fucking story, you're done. Do your best to surround yourself with people that have things that you want, or doing things that you want to do. That's one of the main ways to help trigger that mindset, to get you from telling yourself that I was a kid raised in this bad situation, whatever, domestic violence and poverty and whatever, or I was just a bad kid in school, or I won't amount to anything, or whatever it is. That's one of the main ways to switch your mind from going to being that person and associating yourself with that failure of an identity, to recreating yourself and allowing yourself to understand that your failures, your mistakes are not a part of your identity. Matter of fact, your successes. Nobody knows of all the stupid shit I did when I was a fucking teenager, but everybody knows I was a Canadian champion at the age of 20 and bodybuilding, because that was successful. Everybody knows that, I help clients. Everybody knows that I do good. They don't know or see any of the negative shit that happened in my past, so I refuse to let that be a part of my identity, because it's just fucking not. And I refuse to tell other people over and over and over that story of how I grew up, that story of why I am, who I am in terms of the negative aspect of things, because that's just not true. And I mean, it sounds contradicting me bringing it to you right now, telling you this, but I'm not doing that to get your sympathy. I'm not doing that to bring you down with me. I'm literally telling you this so that you don't make this fucking mistake. Nobody gives a fuck, period. Success doesn't care about your feelings. If somebody just died, you're going to show up and go to work because your rent's due next month. Facts. Your body doesn't know when, like, the fat on your body doesn't know when it's your birthday. So don't pig out on your birthday. And if you decide to, cool, you're going to get fat. Success doesn't give a fuck. You feel what I'm saying? And last but not least, I want to tell you guys, just please, I'm going to repeat this again. Just stop telling yourself that negative story. It's doing a lot more damage than you even know. That story of, and I understand, it's your life. When you think back and you reflect on your life, it's almost inevitable that those memories come up, because they are memories. But those memories, as I said earlier, guys and girls, are not attached to your identity. You are separate. You are void from that. And the moment that you continue to say, I'm that same kid that was abused when, this happened, and the moment you continue to say, I'm the kid that comes from poverty, I'm the kid that, just did bad in school, I'm the kid that, whatever it is the moment you accept that as your identity. And the moment that you accept that as your identity is the moment you stay in that same fucking position for your whole life. You ever wonder how hobos end up on the street? And I'm not being insulting or anything, but do you ever wonder? And I'm not a genius or anything like that. And I've talked to hobos. Like, I would like to consider myself a nice person. When I go around, like, I honestly just fucking talk to people, right? The city's got a lot of hobos. So if I'm ever downtown, I see a hobo with you, and they're coming up to me and they're like asking for a bottle, in terms of, like, they collect recyclables. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just being real with you. I ask them, like, yo, what's up? Like, what happened to you? And I just ask them that. And the ones that are, decent, they'll tell me, well, I was born in this shitty situation, and then my parents did this and that. Nothing about themselves, nothing about how they decided to take accountability for themselves, nothing about how they decided to do something for themselves to get them out of a position. It was always somebody's fault, the environment that they grew up in, and the fact that they're a product of that environment. Never once did they try to change the environment. Never once did they try to change the surroundings, the people, and never once did they actually fucking take accountability for their own actions so that they can control their life instead of letting other people, other past experiences, and the environment control them. I want you to fucking replay that if you're watching this in the replay, because that's from the heart and that's facts. And I asked these hobos that, and they told me. So it's up to you. You can either tell yourself that shitty story, party in your own pity party, swim in your own shit, or clean the fuck up, strap your boots up, and give yourself a new chapter, let alone a new book to continue your progress, to continue your success, and detach yourself from your negative past experiences, your negative environment, and your negative mindset, your victim mentality that's keeping you in the position that you're in. All right. So that's it. That's all, guys and girls. I personally just wanted to keep it short and sweet, locked in at 20 minutes. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you guys that did tune in today. If you are not watching this on the live stream, I want you to fully tune in and give me your full undivided attention in the replay of this video that will be dropping right after this is off the air. All right. So, guys and girls, I hope you have yourselves a wonderful fucking Tuesday. Have the best fucking day of your life. And again, remember, nobody gives a fuck about your pity party, and everyone's going to remember your success. So don't identify yourself with everything negative. Don't identify yourself with every failure. Don't identify yourself with something no one's even going to fucking remember. You're going to be the only one carrying that bag of shit and swimming in your own shit. So understand that success doesn't give a fuck. You have to do what you have to do anyway. It's time to grow up. Stop making excuses. It's not your mom's fault. It's not your dad's fault. It's not your surroundings' fault. It's your fucking fault. Own up to it. Take control of it. And with that control, you can control your life. Peace and love, my people. You know what it is. Back again tomorrow. We out.